Guys, you're welcome back to my channel. I am Abiodun Veronica, a 26-year-old Igbo lady, happily married to a Yoruba man. And in this channel, we talk everything love, family, parenting, and building relationships that thrive. So, in this video, I have a short story for you that I sometimes reflect on, and I'm like, why did it happen that way, or why was it like that? So I am willing to share it with you guys. Hopefully you're able to pick one or two things from this video. So without wasting much time, let's get right into it. Alright guys, welcome back. So this short story is something that when I have a daughter and she's grown, to that stage where, she's starting to feel attractive and, guys are beginning to call her and all of that. I'll be able to tell her this story and, teach her one or two lessons from it. So this is it. At the age of 18, shortly after I finished secondary school, right, I just, out of nowhere, just conceived an idea in my head that I wasn't going to get married to an Igbo man. I know, right? Growing in an Igbo family, having my parents are Igbo, my dad is from, okay, please don't come for me. They said that Ebonyi is not like that, it's not Igbo like that, but my dad is from Ebonyi and my mom is Enugu. So we are Igbo, right? So growing in that family, I just decided one day that I was going to marry one of us, like they say. I didn't tell anybody, right? But I just knew within me that I was going to marry an Igbo man. And, one thing I did was right from school, this is a story for another time though, right from school, I decided I wasn't going to get into a relationship. Secondary school, all this boyfriend and girlfriend gist now. I decided I wasn't going to do all of that. Not because, was it because I was moral or, I don't know. Just for one reason or the other, it just disgusted me, Because in my class then, I remember girls fighting for guys. I'll be like, they're already fighting outside. Everybody run outside. What happened? This one, they're fighting for KOB. There's one guy in my class, then KOB, King of Boys. They are fighting for him. You are fighting for someone that has repeated SS2 two times just because his shoe shines. And so the whole thing just disgusted me, right? So I said that no way. I was going to get into a relationship from secondary school. So coming out of secondary school, I just made up my mind. Honestly, Igbo guys had not done me anything. I was just a young girl now. I just said I was not going to marry an Igbo man. That not to make me marry an Igbo man. Mind you, I've not written JAMB. I've not even entered the university. So I just decided I wasn't going to marry a Yoruba man. I didn't mention this to anybody. And after then, I went to be with my sister. I traveled to the state where my sister was in. And I just continued my life, I even remember one time that my sister had to call my parents that people should talk to Veronica. She doesn't talk to people. When people try to talk to her, she's just like careless about it. She has to relate. She has to be able to relate. And sorry, a little backstory. I remember when I was still at home, when I was still much younger. If everybody is inside, I'll be outside. If everybody is outside, I alone by myself, I'll be inside. For one reason or the other, I just wanted, why was making all of you happy? Why is everybody just talking? My dad was a pastor. He brought me out several times for deliverance and all of that. But that's not the story for today. Moving on. So my sister will call my parents, talk to Vero. She doesn't relate to people. My parents will call me. How do I want to do life like that? Blah, 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 blah. So that was not even my first boyfriend. But this is to tell you that every guy I had ever dated till the one I got married to, I've been a Yoruba man. For one reason or the other. Not because they were perfect, not because maybe somebody promised me something that if I go married to a Yoruba man, they will do this for me or do that for me. I just determined in my heart that I wasn't going to get married to an Igbo man. And I didn't want to get married to a man that I didn't understand their language. I don't know if you get me. Yes. And I understood little of Yoruba, even though until like SS2, before I even spoke the Yoruba that I'm talking about, like before I could even say it out. I understood it. I knew I could understand when they speak it, but I was not able to speak it until like SS2. So it wasn't like I was very fluent in the language, but I just knew that, I think I understand this language. after my dialect or my mother tongue and all of that. So I just wanted a Yoruba man. So I remember when I got into the university, I got to one day and my dad was like, you know, this soft talk now, when they know that you're already approaching that age of maybe you start saying boyfriend. He did not say anything about boyfriend. He just said that, when it's time to marry, don't bring a Yoruba man. No. I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me that at that time, I was already in like a 2-year relationship with a typical Yoruba man or Yoruba boy, will I say that time. So I said, yes. What would I say before? My mommy too reinforced it that don't bring a Yoruba man, no. That they used to do like this, they used to do like that. I said, okay, no problem. No problem. I went back to school. I didn't tell the guy. I didn't tell the guy I was dating at that time that my parents said I should not be Yoruba, blah, 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 blah. I should knew that everybody is susceptible to change. They will change. Anything will happen. If it's what I know that I want, some way, somehow, they will change. I knew they would change. And did they change? Definitely. I'm happily married to a Yoruba man and they accepted him with their full chest. So down the line, I got into school. I had some reasons to, break off that relationship. Not even reasons pertaining to my family, but they were just very, very solid reasons. Looking into my future, those were not the kind of things I wanted to see. Looking into the lives of my children, those were not the things I want them to, experience. And so I broke off that relationship. It was painful for me. I mean, that's another story for another day, right? So it was painful for me, but I broke off that relationship. So I broke off that one and I was single for a while. Yeah, for a while. So, and then I, got guys coming. There was a time one guy that was, Calabar. I think Calabar. He came, we were talking, but somehow I just knew that, no, this wasn't the guy. He ticked some of my boxes, right? He was a Christian. He was a believer. He loved the Lord, which is some of the things that we do, right? But yeah, at that time, those were my check boxes, and I ticked some of them, but something just wasn't clicking. Maybe the Yoruba guy that he was not Abi, and honestly, I wasn't actively thinking or dwelling on it. So that's where I'm going in this video, right? I wasn't actively dwelling on the fact that I didn't want to get a Yoruba man. In fact, I did not even pray about it. I didn't have to pray or fast about it. I did not have to go the extra mile to find the Yoruba man, that I just wanted. It just all happened. There was even a time I was talking stage. I was having a talking stage with an Igbo guy after. It was also from Enugu, so it was like when I was enjoying it. There was no problem. The guy was cool. It was comfortable. I was in school, I think around my final year in school. So the guy was, in fact, I had gone to his house 1 or 2 times, and it was already looking like it. But all of a sudden, maybe it's that thing that I have signed with in my heart not to get married to an Igbo man. Maybe it was that thing I just stepped in, but right now, that was a joke. It was beyond that. And I just knew that this guy, this was what happened. I think this was the point where I knew that, no, I will not marry this guy. What happened? We were having a discussion one day, and then he said you think we're talking about festivities and all of that, and we're like, that he goes to the village every December to celebrate Christmas. All the antenna of no Igbo man, they just went up. Bam, bam, bam. I feel like, me, with this my small life, that I've not said I will not go to village after I marry you. We'll not go and do Christmas. All those Nigerian film I used to watch, it will not happen. I will not eat something. Somebody don't see somebody. I say, run, no, run. That was how I just knew in my mind that, this one is a typical Igbo man. It's not even the type that you say that is Igbo, but not the typical one. No, this one was the Odogu kind of Igbo. I say, but I don't feel the fight battle, but this is my small Igbo. I ran. So guys, if you have watched this video to this point, please do me a favor, subscribe, because I really want to have this interaction with you guys. Just a platform to, share my story, share my experiences, and then we can learn one or two things. So back to our video. That was how I broke up with this guy. It was a natural leave. We did not, the both of us did not say we were not talking again. I just naturally left. And then shortly after that time, I met my husband and we started talking. We dated for about 2 years and then we got married. So the long and short of this story, and the reason I'm sharing it, which is also one of the things I'm going to tell my child, my girl child, or even my male child, is that sometimes when you decide to do something in life, making that decision can just be all it takes. Just deciding might just be all it takes. Just the way I decided not to get married to an Igbo man. I didn't have to pray about it. I did not have to fast about it. I did not have to, seek as much counsel around it or make as much findings. I didn't have to do all of that. It was just a decision. And it was like, after I made that decision, the whole course of nature just, worked around it to make it possible. Even though I had some people guys coming, they were just going back. I mean, something within me was just repelling them because I knew that this is not it. This is not it. When I see it, I will know it. When I see it, I will know it. Yeah, there were some Yoruba guys that were coming and then they were not it, right? They were not it either. But something just, worked it out that I ended up getting married and happily married to a Yoruba man. So all it might take to, run that business successfully, it might just be a decision. And yeah, you might need to put the extra work. You might need to do the work just the way I was, trying other guys in that sense. You might need to, test the waters, but just know that decision, will bring you the outcome that you really want. Just like the way all I had to do was decide that I was not going to get married to an Igbo man. And did it all happen? Yes. Am I happily married? Yes. So all you might need, to run that family successfully, or you might need to, finish school, even if what it is all looking like now is as if you're going to drop out because there's no funds, because there is no support. All you might need might just be your decision to say, you know what, I'm going to finish this school, I'm going to graduate from this school, and I'm going to graduate top of my class. Because it is it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Just decide in your heart. And so this is one of the things I'm going to tell my child when I have one that is grown enough to understand my language. And that would be that some of the things that you will become in life and some of the things that will happen in your life and those that will not happen is sort of tied to your decision, to the decisions you make or those you don't make. So I hope that you have been able to get one or two things, because I think I talked too much, sort of, but I hope you have been able to get one or two things in this video. If you ask me one of the things that I've learned from this video, it would be that my decision or indecision, has direct impact on the outcome that I have in life. So, and I hope that you start to make some decisions that pertain to your life, decisions, to wake up early, decisions to be disciplined, decisions to go after your goal, decisions to just make that decision that you want to turn out well. And I know that by God's grace, we will all turn out well. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. Please, if you have not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every week, educative videos, stories. I tell stories about myself and stories that, will be beneficial to us, and I would like to interact with you. So kindly drop in the comment section anything that you feel or your reaction to this video. I'd like to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.